Imran Khan, a former cricket player turned politician, is leading the Pakistani general election to become the next Prime Minister. But at least one major party is rejecting the results. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. More than 100 million Pakistani voters were registered to participate in Wednesday's parliamentary elections. In some parts of the country, women were allowed to vote for the first time. The projections show a victory by the PTI party led by Imran Khan. According to local media, the PTI is leading with 110 seats in parliament, the PML-N with 68 and the PPP in third place with 39 seats. If those numbers stand, it could result in a hung parliament, since no party is poised to get a clear majority, but the PTI will be in a good position to negotiate a coalition government. To discuss the implications of this election, we welcome Ambassador Akbar Ahmed. He is the former Pakistani High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and Ireland and a professor of Islamic Studies at American University right here in Washington, D.C. Ambassador, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, as I said, at this stage, it looks like Imran Khan's PTI, or Party of Justice, will get the most seats. But the main opposition, Pakistan Muslim League, N, is not happy. Its leader, Shahbaz Sharif, has posted a tweet saying, and I'm quoting here, Pakistan Muslim League wholly rejects the results of General Election 2018 due to manifest and massive irregularities. Form 45 was not given to our agents, results were stopped, and votes were counted in the absence of our poll agents. This is both unbearable and unacceptable. Does this spell trouble for Pakistan?
It does, Anand, because Imran Khan will find, ironically, the shoe is now on the other foot. Because for the last couple of years, he has been playing the role of a very effective opposition politician against the Sharif brethren. Now he will be in the position of being the Prime Minister if he does become the Prime Minister, and the indications are that he will. And the Sharif brethren will be in opposition. And there are major problems, and if you look at the problems of Pakistan, the economy is in a mess. There's corruption, the law and order situation. You saw the violence leading up to the elections. There's the question of minorities. Christians, Hindus, Sikhs often complain about being persecuted. Relations with India on the one border, Afghanistan on the other border. These issues have to be tackled vigorously and in a very rational frame. And Imran Khan has a great deal of work cut out for him.
The election results, of course, are still being tallied. Votes are still being counted. But what did you make of the conduct of the election? Because the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, which is an independent watchdog, they described the campaign as being one of the dirtiest in the country's history.
Yes, there's no doubt, and we are hearing all the reports there in front of you, especially the violence, 150 people in Balochistan, then 30 or 31 just a day or two ago in the KP province, in other parts of Pakistan. There is no doubt about it. At the same time, Anand, I want you to step back and look at it philosophically, look at it analytically in the frame that this is a country which has oscillated between military rule and democracy, a form of democracy. And here it is at a juncture in its history when it has to decide. And in spite of all the violence, in spite of all the hurdles, Pakistanis, ordinary Pakistanis especially, are committed to go ahead with the democratic process. I find that very impressive because I've just come back from Pakistan. I was there for a couple of weeks. I met lots and lots of ordinary Pakistanis. The people in office, whether the army or the civilians, they were all committed to elections. But the ordinary people, I found for the first time, very activated, very motivated, because they feel now they have a stake in elections, in democracy in Pakistan. And they're not going to give up that right that easily. So here you have a new dynamic being played out in Pakistan today.
You know, you mentioned the violence that took place in the run-up to the election. The Pakistan military deployed more than 370,000 personnel to safeguard the election. There was that horrific attack, suicide bombing in Quetta. There was also violence in Balochistan. Do you think that violence impacted the outcome of the election?
I don't think so, because people had made up their minds who they're voting for. You know, this has been going on for a couple of years. People have more or less expressed their loyalties, and more or less they've stood by there, unless they've been pressurized to switch from one party to the other. But the bulk of the electorate has decided, and they have remained loyal. So the people who follow Imran Khan, and he has, as you see, vast numbers, they have been with him through thick and thin, through all the pressures on him, the scandals thrown at him, the accusations thrown at him, the book coming out by his former wife recently. All that seemed to have made little difference because they stood by him. So the violence is taken in that spirit that there is violence, it's terrible, we all condemn it, but we are going to go ahead with it. And that is the spirit I'm talking about, which I find something new and something quite impressive.
That spirit that you're talking about, how important is it for the losing side, or the losing sides, I should say, to accept the outcome of the result, to concede defeat if necessary?
That's a great question, another great question. And if you compare India and Pakistan, you will see that Indian democracy was established by Mr. Nehru. When he was Prime Minister, he deliberately sought out the opposition and gave them the importance that a parliamentary government needs to give to the opposition. So in that sense, he created a foundation for democracy. Now, Pakistan had a very rocky start. The Qaid, the leader of Pakistan, the founder of Pakistan, died within a year. Within a few years, there was martial law. So the opposition always remained in the opposition, in the shadows very often, and very often persecuted. So here we are seeing for the first time an election which has declared a result, and I think now it's incumbent upon the opposition, whoever that is, we are sort of jumping the gun, but if it is the Muslim League, to play the role of the opposition and play the role within the framework of the Constitution. I think it's crucial because in that way they will be able to establish democracy for the coming time. Because elections are not just about this year or this particular event. They are establishing the future of Pakistan for the next couple of years, even decades. And I think that these politicians have to take their role very seriously.
Whatever the outcome of the election, and as you've just pointed out, results are still coming in, what is the new leader's priorities? You know, you mentioned there's a host of problems, a wide range of problems that Pakistan faces right now, but what are the priorities?
Imran has been emphasizing corruption. And as you see that goes to the heart of the Pakistani system, or the defect or the canker in the Pakistani system, and has really appealed to the ordinary people because they are plagued by corruption at every level, the police, the civil service, the judiciary, at all levels, especially at the district level. They find that they are not able to get through their cases or their petitions because of what they feel is corruption in the structure. So he has emphasized that. Then the corruption in the political structures, and he's identified the Sharifs, for example, and has pursued the case, which has resulted really in Nawaz Sharif being in jail, which is unimaginable only a few years back. So if he can follow this through by creating an impeccably honest men of integrity, women of integrity to run Pakistan as administrators, civil servants, judicial officers, he will have achieved a great, great deal. But the challenge is the moment he comes into power, where is he going to locate these people? And he has shown, I think, dangerously, that when given a choice between his old faithful, the people who were with him throughout the years, the lonely years, and opting for the richer, the more electables, as he calls them, he has opted for the electables. So what would happen in a situation where there's a corrupt civil servant or a corrupt politician who is effective? Would he then support that person against someone who is not that effective and may not be that well known to be an efficient person?
Now, what about foreign policy, especially relations with the United States? They've been strained, very tense. Recently, President Trump has made some comments very critical of Pakistan. How important is that?
I think relations between the United States and Pakistan are in a very rocky condition, perhaps at the lowest point for many, many years. And it is again critical for the new leadership coming into office, the Prime Minister's office, to radically tackle this particular subject. Now, if Imran comes in, what do you expect? He is very charismatic. He tends to be very bold in his decisions. He's not easily scared off or intimidated. At the same time, remember the phenomena of President Trump reaching out to the leader of North Korea and suddenly changing everything. I'm hoping that Imran is capable of doing that because he's bold enough to do it. I mean, if you've, as I know you have followed his cricketing career, you know that the great secret of his success was he was a very bold cricketer. So if that temperament remains, and I think it does remain, he may be able to pull it off. On the other hand, if he becomes a run-of-the-mill politician very soon, and this can happen, the pressures of office are great, then he may lose that momentum. But if he comes in fresh and begins a series of radical changes, including foreign policy, including reaching out to India on the eastern border, Afghanistan on the western border, in order to ensure some stability within Pakistan. He is capable of doing that, A, because he's got the support, he's got the seats, and he has the courage and the imagination.
You know, on the relationship with India, Imran Khan, during the campaign, he went after Nawaz Sharif because he blamed Nawaz Sharif for opening up to India, saying that he was accommodating India in certain respects. That was the campaign. He could soon be the Prime Minister of the country. Then there's the reality of governing. Will that change?
And then again, remember Imran Khan as the captain of the Pakistan cricket team. He was probably as popular in India with Indian fans as he was in Pakistan. So a man of charisma like him, in a sense, transcends local politics. I really believe that if you see the responses to him, it's like that. It's almost, you know, the definition of charisma is it's an irrational kind of element. So I believe that with commitment, with vision, with boldness, he's capable of changing all these equations. And we wish him, if he takes over very soon and is in position, we wish him good luck, and hopefully he brings peace and stability to South Asia.
Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us.